My name is Amanda Wendt, District Governor-elect for 9800, and I will be taking you through our strategic priority number 3, which is enhancing participant engagement. Now, as club and district leaders, we have 3 metrics that we're asked to perform against, that being service, membership, and fundraising. Now, of these 3, membership is arguably the metric that has the most direct impact on the others. So when we raise membership, we can do more good, we can raise more funds, and then we can attract even more members. But over the last 10 years in our region, membership has dropped by 23%, and our population has grown by 13%. Now, why are we measuring population, you may ask? Well, because in real terms, this actually equates to a 36% decline, which is just to say that while the work we do is needed now more than ever, our ability to make a difference is getting harder because we're stretching our resources further with less. Now, while that 36% decline is confronting, it does highlight that we need to seriously rethink our approach to membership. And internal feedback via surveys that have been done all the way from RI level down to club level consistently show that we're not being competitive. Now, that's not a statement about the quality of our product, but rather the distribution. So ensuring that the experience that we've promised people matches what is actually delivered. And it's absolutely crucial because there's disengagement at that 2-year mark. And that's when the statistics show that we are losing people. And of course, we have sustainability and succession considerations that we're all aware of. But there's also very real and very promising opportunity. So reversing this trend is absolutely possible. There are 8 million Australians who volunteer each year. So that's 3 in 10 Australians, which is greater than the US and the UK. And countless studies have shown there's actually younger people who volunteer the most, actually more than retirees. And I've got to admit, I don't know if anyone else on this call is surprised by that, but I certainly was. And out of all of those demographics, specifically, it's the 30 to 45-year-olds that are the largest demographic who volunteer. So I like to call these people Rotarians by nature, not yet by name. Now, Dr. Emma Leslie yesterday was absolutely correct when she said that younger people are compassionate, they're capable, and they're wanting to take direct action. They're also at a point in their life where they're keen to develop personally and professionally, and they have the resources to do so. I'm just going to say, Matt, do you mind if you advance the slide for me? Because the click is just, thank you, just there's fine, thank you. Rotary as well, we're leaders in volunteering. We are known as people of action, and we're undertaking game-changing work, polio being just one of many examples. And certainly evidenced by what we're doing today, Rotary really invests in that capability development and that mentoring and the personal growth. So when we take the time to really get to know those we are trying to engage in Rotary, and we take the time to understand our own strengths, we can start to shape an incredible insight into how we can best connect with participants. So in this case, sticking with the 30 to 45-year-olds, some key insights here are hands-on projects, convenience, and community focus. Which is why we need to start thinking of engagement with Rotary through the lens of participation. So taking what we already do so well, shaping it into a relevant offer. Now that's relevant to the people we're trying to engage, as distinct from what is relevant to you and your club. I'll pause to let you ponder that for a moment. And ensuring that that participation is so on point, so engaging, and so valuable that you don't need to sell Rotary membership because Rotary will have sold itself at that point. Now, to know what relevant offer we need to make, we need to understand all of our participation options. So within the context of a Rotary club, there are typically 5 ways that people can participate. So the one that we're all most familiar with is what let's call it philanthropic fellowship, where the offer is to come and join us at a weekly meeting to listen to a fantastic guest speaker, and please bring some spare coins to contribute to our raffle and our projects. The next is service brokerage. So this is an offer to utilize their personal, professional, even Rotary network or expertise to connect resources. Now, a great example of this was the procurement and delivery of specialist masks during the 2019 bushfires, or becoming a Rotary Action Group champion, for example. Next, we have hands-on volunteering. So that's where the offer is to come and help out on our projects. So come and pack some food parcels, clean up our local rivers, sort goods at a warehouse, etc. We also next have leadership development. So that is the offer to come and invest some time and resources into developing new soft skills and cause or program expertise. And finally, we have fundraising. So the offer to come and help us raise money. So that could be, marshalling at a big major event in the city. That's obviously our barbecues, our golf days, our art shows, that sort of thing. Now, I have to point out here that this participation option is often confused with hands-on volunteering. So it's not service, it's very distinctly fundraising, and I do want to point out the distinction. So we've taken stock of what we do and our participation offers. How do we know what is the best offer to make? Well, we can apply some really quick criteria. So absolutely, it's about engagement, but it's also about making it as easy as possible for someone to participate in Rotary. So it has to be convenient in terms of access, availability, and cost. And it also has to be engaging. So it's got to be valuable. It's got to be an obvious, direct impact and have very tangible results, because tangible results are shareable. So hello, social media and eyeballs. And when we apply this convenience criteria to our participation options, it looks a bit like this. So the philanthropic fellowship, yeah, 100%. It's really convenient to turn up to a local club that meets regularly just down the road and to get involved. So that gets a tick. Service brokerage, not so convenient, because it does take a while to build those networks, and arguably that's what makes them so incredibly valuable. So it's a little bit higher entry point for that one. Hands-on volunteering, totally, you can rock up and get involved in a local project. So that gets a huge tick on the convenience front. Leadership development, we're saying no here because normally there are time commitments involved, as most of us who are on this call are aware, as you're on your path to president. And, normally a leadership development context, it takes more than an hour or so. So that is a little bit more of a commitment. And fundraising, finally, yes, absolutely. Again, that's convenient too. You can just turn up and help. So what happens now when we apply the engagement criteria across this? Philanthropic fellowship. Well, I would propose that for somebody who is brand new to participating with Rotary, that may not be the most engaging forum for them, because they simply don't have the benefit of the relationships in that room that all of us on this call have spent years developing and investing in. So it's a little harder for them to get the most out of that particular option when they're first new to Rotary. And the speaker that day may or may not be some of a topic that they're interested in. Service brokerage, immediate kickback in terms of satisfaction when you know that you've connected people and you've made something happen, and that's normally very tangible. Again, hands-on volunteering, those results are in real time. Again, it's visible, tangible, you can easily calculate and share your impact. Leadership development, well, anyone again on this call knows that that's a huge yes. It's a big tick there. We're learning, again, very tangible lessons and often in real time. And now fundraising, I've got a X there, because while it's great to know that you've raised a certain amount of money, and there is absolutely satisfaction that's baked into that, often the realization of the good that that money does is delayed. And often participants never actually find out how the money was used and the impact it had. So they're just kind of that one step removed from the on the ground impact. So that's why that's got a cross there. So in terms of then of what is the easiest and the most engaging way to get people to participate in Rotary, it's that hands-on volunteering projects, which, as it turns out, is exactly the type of participation offered that is most relevant initially to younger volunteers. So that demographic who volunteer more than any other age group and who are our biggest opportunity for participation. So we've gone full circle. Now, imagine, therefore, connecting with younger volunteers through hands-on projects where the results are in real time. It is selfieable, that's what I like to call it. It's shareable on social media. As you can see, the two volunteers that we've got there in that image, they're standing in front of their day's work. They can talk to it and it's shareable. So imagine connecting with younger volunteers in causes they are most passionate about, which is environment, equity issues, for example, like homelessness, excess food distribution, and also mental health. And imagine connecting with younger volunteers so convenient that the time frame between when they decide that they want to get involved in a hands-on project to them actually getting involved is a matter of days, not weeks or months. So that participation conversion is quick. And imagine not just connecting with younger volunteers this way, but with any demographic and with existing club members. And I'm about to invite past District Governor Keith Ryle to share his experience very quickly in just a moment. But certainly in District 9800, we've had overwhelming feedback from long-term members that involvement in hands-on volunteering projects is fun, it's purposeful, and the cross-generational nature of it has enhanced the Rotary experience for so many, above and beyond, again, that suite of the broader participant options that we discussed earlier. So Keith, do you mind just very quickly sharing your experience?
Thanks, Mandy. Yes, those volunteers in that photograph are from the North Melbourne Rotary Club. In fact, I'm pretty certain the person on the right is the current president of North Melbourne, and she's also president of the Somali Women's Development Association.
Might be on this call as well, so
if she's there. I'm also proudly wearing the vest, which I might add, the logo was designed by the Darebin Hard Rubbish Heroes group. I don't think any of them are members of Rotary as yet, but we're working on that. But this is a warehouse in East Brunswick, and it's called the Home of Residential Recycling, which really appeals to the people in the city of Darebin, Moreland, city of Melbourne, city of Yarra, that we all should be conscious about avoiding things going to landfill. And it's really appealed to all generations. We have interactors, we have rotaractors, we've got 15 to 20 Rotary clubs that volunteer their time. And what we do is take in good quality goods that will be recycled, white goods, Manchester, furniture, fridges, the whole lot. And the Darebin Hard Rubbish Heroes group actually raised $3,000, talk about fundraising, $3,000 online to specifically help us purchase a commercial washing machine and dryer, which is now in place and operating. We're open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturdays to help those who are very busy during the week. And we would love to have more volunteers. Rowan from Central Melbourne Sunrise. Central Melbourne is on this call. He's the current coordinator of volunteers, doing a great job. I'm the Wednesday supervisor. If anyone wants to come along on Wednesday, I'll give you a personalised tour. But we're meeting, it's providing these good quality goods to homeless people, many women who've come out of violent relationships, prisoners released from jail who need a fresh start, young men and women who have lost everything basically, Afghan refugees, a wonderful cross-section of the community. So it's very much hands-on, it's cause-focused, and we try to make it very convenient. It's a great project, Mandy, so thanks for giving me the time to make this contribution.
Thanks, Keith. And I think that one of the key points there is, a vibrant and engaged club is one that will not only attract members, but it will also retain them. So this is your opportunity now in your breakout groups to unpack the participation-friendly projects that your club offers or that your club can tap into. And the second part of the discussion as well is what are the opportunities to collaborate with your neighbouring clubs to make a project more participation friendly? So some key considerations here are how to make that project run weekly so that we can convert that interest quickly. Like I said, within a matter of days, not weeks or months. How can we get the word out through our non-Rotary networks? And are there any costs involved? And if so, are there ways that we can fundraise that? So the cost to the actual participant is zero. And just before we do break into the groups, I do want to give a quick plug because I noticed that it's been mentioned a couple of times in the chat box. But if you do want to continue the conversation from today, because to be honest, I could talk about this for hours, please, you're welcome to join us in Greenhouse. What started as a resource for District 9800 is quickly growing to include President-elects and their leadership teams from across our zone and beyond. And it consists of a website and a Facebook group that complements the discussions today and your own respective PETS programs. So if you're keen to grow Rotary, you are absolutely more than welcome in Greenhouse. So back to those breakout sessions. And so now I believe we'll be going back into the same breakouts for another 20 minutes to discuss these two questions. Okay, so let's get to some of that feedback now from our groups, from our breakouts. So Kerry Kirk from 9790.
Thank you very much. Group 5 talked about a lot of participative projects, significantly focused on the environment, and it sort of brought in a number of the different demographics and encouragement from young people to join them, invitations out to schools and via local councillors to bring in their networks. So we had Lucas Community Gardens. Jebediah is actually coming in from the Yarra Valley Club already today on a Clean Up Australia project. And the second focus was a bike focus. We had 2 different clubs with bike related projects and how they've had their community donate bikes, refurbish them, hand them back out to citizens who need those as a form of transport, whether they be refugees, and it got refugees recycling and getting involved and learning how to do bike maintenance, etc. And another club participated with bikes as well in terms of the Lake Hume bike thing. So bikes and environment focus, and a number of clubs talked about the fact that they got new members by involving their clubs this way.
That's exactly what we want to hear.
Yeah.
Perfect, absolute gold examples. And I mean, yeah, I know I talked about environment, equity and mental health, but I mean, you could just, in the environment space alone is a huge, huge opportunity. So thank you, Kerry. That was terrific. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Mark Robinson from 9780. Same question, the first one.
Thanks, Amanda. Yes, we had a good conversation, and had a lot of things come forward, so I probably will miss some, but let's try. Quite a few of the clubs had projects, very successful projects involving other people in the community. Just to name a few, there was the birthing kits, which was a really good one. There was working with the Salvation Army as well as the Collingwood Football Club, and they're providing housing for homeless. There was also the maintenance of Rotary House, where people coming in for treatment had somewhere to go, so that was another one. There was the Endocoma project, where they working with the school and where the bags were sewn and they were filled up with the toiletry projects to be sent to up to Alice Springs. So there was quite a few different groups there involved. There was another group in town in Melbourne. In fact, they've got 3 centres where they're able to take in. I think it was already on there at one stage. I think it's called the Rotary Inner Melbourne Emergency Relief Network, and there's 3 of them in Melbourne where goods have come in, and when there's a need, those goods will go out to different people in the community. And I think there were quite a few other projects, and my apologies, but one I'd just like to say, one of our members would like to say to you, Amanda, it was a great presentation this morning, that he feels he needs to go back and analyse it and work on it, and then get his members to really get involved and then do the projects that in a different way to what they might be doing now.
Oh,
so, thank you.
I love that. Thank you. Terrific feedback. And all those examples are just brilliant. So they're cause focused, they're legit hands-on projects, which I think is really important to call out. And they can be done outside of normal work hours. So there's the convenience factor where younger people, I say younger people because I'm approaching my 40s and I don't feel so young, but younger people can get involved outside of the work, their traditional 9 to 5. So that's terrific. Thank you so much, Marg.
There were a lot more, Amanda, but I think I couldn't get them.
I want the list. I really want the list. Michael Lapina from 9800.
Hello, Mandy. Thank you so much. I have to start by saying thank you to 2 assistant governors who are in my room. And I have to be careful because I am showing my bias because I think we've got the best room in the morning. But the thing is, Assistant Governor Therese Robinson and Assistant Governor Antti Arata stepped up and helped facilitate while I'm quickly typing out some of the responses from our awesome president-elects and club members, club representatives. So in response to question 2, how could you collaborate with neighbouring clubs to make your projects more participation friendly? The first and foremost thing that our room came up with was, when you say neighbouring club, it actually limits us. And the question should really be, who can we collaborate with? And the answer should be everyone. It's not limited to Rotary, and we need to stop thinking that way. And what does the community need? Understand what the community needs and go to them, find out what they need and support them. An example was the town fair has been recently reviewed and is now being run slightly differently, engaging local scouts and other service groups, and that's going to be a lot more successful and certainly has that Rotary presence in the community where they're working closely with the community, so it makes them more accessible. The recent break due to COVID has allowed clubs to review existing projects to measure the motivation, the relevance, and the engagement of all of their projects and members. And so we have an opportunity to rethink our current operations. The size and age of clubs has, and certainly in some of the clubs, has been a disadvantage. Smaller size, older demographics, but collaborating with other clubs will certainly be able to share the load a lot more and contribute to a greater success rate there. So to increase participation, we really need to be asking more questions, not only with our Rotarians, but also with the community, the wider community, making sure that we know who our community are, what they need, and what it is that we need to be doing project-wise that fits their needs, so that it becomes more an attraction on both ends. So
yeah, 100%. Thank you, Michael. And you a brilliant point you made there about with the word about neighbouring clubs. That's an absolute starting point for people of and what's convenient and easy. Go to what's already happening in your cluster where you've got those relationships. But 100% is totally beyond that, and who else we could collaborate with. And I love Ryman, as what Keith was talking about before, is a classic example that there are there's 13 clubs that help run that, so it can run weekly. So there's huge opportunity there. So thank you so much, Michael. Appreciate it. And finally, we've got Pam Wood from 9790.
Hi, how you going? I had a fantastic group, and I've got dibs on the best group ever, so maybe we can have equal best groups. I'm reporting on the second question, and Michael covered a few things, but when they were talking about neighbouring groups, and it was really interesting that one group in a cluster didn't know what the other group was doing. And so, creating a way to share what you're doing and invite. And one club in Seymour, they have 7 events over the year that you can put dates into, and invite other clubs to go and clean up a road. So it's the lack of knowledge often that limits involvement, and also a sense of competition between clubs. And so that's the barrier, I think, to to collaboration. The other great point was we had an example of how one club went from doing something for the whole club was there, but only 20 people turned up. And then the next time they did it, they collaborated with Bunnings, the South Australia Police, invited the 2 other Rotary clubs, and it was raining, pouring, and 250 cars got secure license plates on their cars. They changed the screws, and already they're in great demand to do the next headlight thingy. But yeah, that was a great example of 20 to 250 by doing it differently and inviting other people in. Other groups, working with the Lions. Go and help out at a Lions function and ask them to come and help out with you. Not necessarily to poach their members, but, to collaborate. And I
was wondering where that was going.
to collaborate and to build community and say, look, Lions and Rotary can work together. We're not in competition. We're here for the community. And another thing is being proactive. If you've got a story to tell, invite yourself to other Rotary clubs. If you're working in a project in Kenya, for example, look at where there's some Kenyan membership and go and invite them with special expertise. Ask for other people who have specialist expertise to look with you to see how you can expand it. And also go back and say, would you like to hear about what we've been doing? You don't have to give us money, really nice if you want to, but this is what we're doing. And, people get more and more examples of hands-on people in action, doing things that it might spark a little idea for somebody else.
Agree. Well, Pam, I think that's absolutely sensational, and I can tell from your body language and energy about just how phenomenal the conversation was in your room. Your room is the best room, as is everybody else's as well.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much, everyone, for engaging with those questions in a really, really positive way. I love it.